Eyes wide open. Some of us are noticing, we're waking up, and we're coming together. Whatever is happening in our world is being exposed. Don't forget to subscribe. Now let's get into it.
We're waking up. The veil is thinning. If you felt like something is changing within you, you're not alone. Many people begin questioning reality, becoming more intuitive, or sensing that there's more to life than what they've always believed. It can feel confusing at first, even overwhelming, but sometimes, what feels like everything falling apart is actually your perspective expanding. The journey begins when you stop asking, "Am I going crazy?" and start asking, "What am I waking up to?"
So people keep saying that the veil is thinning, the veil is lifting. The veil has always been lifted. You just haven't been really paying attention.
Is it just me, or do things just seem off? Like something's just not right. And I can only speak for myself, but 3 times this week have I been approached by absolute freaking strangers. And they've almost said the exact same thing. People that didn't know me from Adam just said everything just seems off. It doesn't feel right. I don't know what that means in particular on a physical level, but maybe on a spiritual level, maybe there is something
that I've never experienced in my life before. Freaked me out. Thought I was crazy. Still haven't processed it fully. As I do every week, twice a week, I make deliveries to the same guy. I've been doing it for 7 months. And it's the same guy every time I walk in. He's got a big garage with like a couple trucks in it. I walk in, I hand him his parts, we talk for a minute, I walk away. I go on my business. Today, I walked in, and he had his back to me, and he was working on his bench, and he must have heard me coming. I don't know, because I was actually pretty quiet, I thought, but when he turned around, I jumped and kind of grabbed my mouth like that because I didn't know what to think, and he laughed a little bit, and he called me jumpy. And I was like, "I'm just not feeling very good." And I handed him his part, and I was like, "Hey, I gotta go." The reason I reacted that way is because when I looked at him, he was different. He didn't look like the same guy I saw every other time. First thing I saw was he had no color in his eyes. They were completely black. Black, like you couldn't even see reflections. It was just a black mass. And for some reason, his ears were kind of weird, and they had like this little point like that. I don't know what that was. Excuse me. But then I was talking to my friend, and he sent me an article about them saying that a new disorder that's coming out where people are starting to see demon faces in people. And it got me thinking, if they're putting something like that out, could it be a disorder, or is it God is actually letting people see demons and they're just trying to make it look like we're crazy? I still can't process it. I can't. I find it funny. The clouds look different for some reason. I don't know what it is yet. I'm going to figure that one out, but that could be just me being dumb. The other thing I saw, like I have perfect vision, so I don't know what I saw. If anybody else has ever seen this, can you please let me know, because I'm kind of weirded out right now. Anyway, God bless, love you. Take care.
This is one of those things that I believe this guy. I absolutely believe that this is real. I was having a conversation with my mother and father, and for some reason, and it's never for some reason, there's always a reason, but for some reason, I blurted out, I think that we're walking around with people that aren't real. And my dad says, "What are you talking about?" I said, "I think in our day-to-day walk, in our day-to-day walking around, that we encounter people that are not real. That I don't know if they're demons in human skin, or that I don't know what they are or why they're here. But when you look in their eyes, there's nothing behind their eyes. And they can't all be psychopaths. You can't just look at them. They can't just all be psychopaths. I think the veil between the physical world and the spiritual world is thinning. And I think that the further we get, the more crazy we're going to see. Maybe I'm absolutely freaking wrong. And if I am, at least it's a fun thing to talk about, right? Man.
Many people are going to start seeing things that they can't explain. You're not going crazy. You're just awake. But have no fear, for God is with us. And what you're about to see, it's real. The veil's been lifted. Things are going to start revealing themselves to many people. You have people that are disappearing because they're talking about this stuff. Certain people don't want you to know about it, but you're going to see it with your own eyes, be able to make your own judgment on what it is and what it's actually there for. So when you start to see these things, fear not, for God is with us. You're not crazy. The veil has been lifted. Is it going to be scary? Yeah, it's going to be scary. But you got to remember who's in control. And that's Father God. Many of us are going to start seeing things we can't explain. But if you know, you know. Many of us are becoming awake. And once you hit that point in life, you know what comes next. Remember, God loves you. Jesus died to save you, and he's coming back.
The veil last night wasn't just thin, it actually glitched. Here's what happened. So I was sitting on the couch waiting for my husband to go to dinner with, and it was kind of, we don't have great lights, so it was kind of a little dark, and I'm staring at the carpet, and all of a sudden it starts like shimmering, like you would see a mirage, and then like kind of waving like water. And also on the carpet, it was almost like little ants. So it was just like it was crawling. It was creepy. And so then I looked away. I'm like, oh, I must be tired, whatever. And then I kind of looked at it again, and it did the same thing. So I didn't say anything. I was just like, whatever. Then we go start driving, and it was a little snowy. It was dark. It was after dark, and I look out the window, and I'm like, what is going on with the lights? So as we were driving, the lights from cars and house lights were going straight up. And, I said something to my husband, like, what's going on with the lights? And he's just like, oh, they must be reflecting weird. And I tried to take video. It's really bad. It was dark out and my phone wasn't focusing, but I'll try to put in a video because you can kind of see what I was thinking. So that happened all the way down. Then we had dinner, everything was fine. Came back and the lights weren't doing that.
I hear people talking about the veil becoming thin between the spiritual world and the physical world. And I agree. I do believe and I think that people are feeling more, they're sensing more, they're receiving more insights and having some huge, huge realizations. And I speak for myself as well. But here's what I don't hear talked about enough. Is the veil thins not just to receive more information. It thins because now you're responsible to do something with the information you've received. Because what good is intuition if you're just going to ignore it? What good is your awareness if your decisions are just going to stay the same? And then what good is a spiritual message if it never becomes embodied in your life? The veil may be very thin, but your free will, it still matters. You are being shown things for a reason. The question is, what are you going to do with what you've been shown?
Are you experiencing it yet? I'm going to tell you exactly what I've been experiencing, and I can guarantee you, you're probably experiencing the same. People who aren't awake may not even notice change, or they may notice some hardships or things that are a little weird, but they can't really put their finger on it. Here's what I've been experiencing. People from my old life are suddenly resurfacing. I've been forced to face my old life and my past a lot the last few days. I've had events that have popped up that mirrored events that have happened in my life years and years ago, specifically ones that brought me trauma or hardships. I've had people that I used to talk to that are randomly coming out of the woodwork after several years. Since we are all one giant string of consciousness, these timelines start collapsing over on top of each other. This can look a lot like everything that I just mentioned. On top of, are you noticing you're saying things that you used to say that you stopped saying? You might be listening to songs that you forgot you even liked, or you start remembering a movie you used to watch out of nowhere and now you want to watch it. Keep your eyes peeled wide open though. Keep your discernment sharp.
Friend, the reason you're not sleeping is because the veil is thinning. The reason you're not sleeping, the veil is thinning. Like, the spirits are here, the good and the bad, the in-between too. It's like people who really tapped in understand we can see things that aren't even here. And it's like Earth is in this weird nadir point where either as a collective, we're going to shift and make shit happen for the better, or we're going to shake and the world's going to crumble. Which God always wins. So, like, spoiler alert, the good is going to happen. But, like, that's why you can't sleep. Everything going on in the world right now, everybody's vibrations, we can feel it as a collective, as a conscious. We can literally experience energies similar to the way in which animals know there are earthquakes before they're happening. We can feel it. We too have spiritual powers that you can choose to tap into if you want to, or you can choose to ignore. And so some people still may be asleep. There's some people out there getting real good sleep, and I'm jealous. But it's some of us who can feel these energies intrinsically and extrinsically. So if you tapped in and you experiencing like lack of sleep, or even just like any of your chakras feel blocked out of nowhere, similar to what happened during 2020 in COVID, if you feel that same kind of feeling, maybe amplified or a little different, congratulations, because you're spiritually tapped in. You can feel that the world is shifting and that the veil is thinning.
Hey everyone, I'm jumping on here. It's kind of late. Everybody's asleep, so I can't tell anybody about this. But every night before I go to bed, I go out and look outside our window. And I just kind of was looking up at the sky, because I always look up at the sky because the sky has been really weird lately. And so I was taking some video and photos. Can you guys tell me what this is? So I took photos and video. I couldn't see it with my eyes, but I could see it in the video. And it just did it a few times and then it went away. So I'm not crazy. I have no idea what this is. Can somebody tell me?
To my fellow Yuks out there, don't be surprised when you start seeing more and more spiritual beings like Ichtenraks, or I don't want to say ghosts, or hairy man, or the Bigfoot, because when our elders were saying, there was an elder in my village who said we would all go back to the way things used to be. I think that's completely 100% true, but that also includes some of this kind of scarier things. Things are going to be revealing themselves. It's like we are walking side by side with the spiritual world, even if we do not see it. So don't be afraid when you start seeing things, and pray.
Can we talk about this veil that has gotten even thinner? we can see so much more clear in the atmosphere. We can see among people. I literally can see dead spirits in people. The people actually look dead. I had gone to a previous job that I used to work. It was a huge department store, one of the higher scale department stores. But anyway, I had been away for a while and hadn't gone by, and I wanted to see what type of fragrances they had, because I wanted to find another fragrance. But anyway, I went to my department. I was a fine jewelry salesperson. I went to my department that I used to work for, and I ran into the people I used to work for or with. When I walked up to them, I immediately saw a corpse. Like, it was very eerie. It was like crypt keepers eerie. And I walked up to the first lady and I was like, oh my gosh, she looks sick. She looks dead, And so I was like, okay, well, maybe she's not doing good or whatever. And I just started reading into what I was feeling. I am a seer, so I can see. And I was like, are you doing okay? You feeling all right? And she's like, oh yeah, this, that, and the other. And so the conversation ended with her, and I ran into another one. And I was like, hey, how you doing? And I'm all cheery, like my cheery self. And the spirit that I got off of her was the same as the other lady. And the appearance. Now, I didn't know if anybody else could see what I was seeing, but I saw death. I saw death. Those of us who are seers, we have realized that this veil has gotten a lot more thinner. I mean, at first the veil was like some opaque pantyhose. That's real thick. Then they became the sheer. Now it's like ultra sheer. I literally can see death on these people. It's like no light is in them whatsoever. And it was very unnerving for me. Oftentimes being a seer, being someone that has a prophetic eye, it gets very heavy because we get overwhelmed with the many different spirits that come into our presence. And as I was leaving the store, I was like, what was that? What was that? And the Holy Spirit revealed to me, the veil is very thin, and we're going to see more. Spirits on people. We're going to see more darkness. And each individual that I walked up to, they felt uncomfortable with me there. It was very, it's hard to put into words what I was receiving. But you have to realize that not everybody is going to come to the light. No matter what we say, what we do, the warnings we give. Noah warned for 120 years. And every year we warn, we receive words, we release words. They're not going to land on fertile ground. And we have to be okay with that. We have to just keep dropping the seeds and move on. A farmer will drop a seed and move on. If he's using farm equipment, he drops the seed and he moves on. We can't stay in one spot too long. Otherwise, the rest of the field is not being planted. So we are seeing and experiencing and getting a lot more pushback from those who don't have the light. They haven't come in yet. And we can't be offended by the pushback. We can't shy away from whatever our assignment is. We just have to do it and move on. Do it and move on. It's up to them if they want to come to truth. And it's up to them if they want to stay in darkness. And we have to be okay with that.
Good morning, guys. So I've been getting lots of messages, especially on TikTok. Some people text me in real life saying they're getting attacked by demons. Just remember, demons have no power under Jesus at all. So they might seem scary to you, but if you call out on Jesus, they immediately will flee. They'll immediately bow to Jesus. And the reason God is showing you these things because you have the armor of God on and you're getting closer to Jesus and you're fasting over your strongholds is because these things are going to start getting released here soon. These things are physically going to manifest in the physical realm one day. And you will be prepared. You have your vessels full of oil. Your heart will not fail. The Bible makes it clear that says many people's hearts will fail from the fear of what they see. So God is getting you used to seeing demons so you cannot fear them. You will not fear them. The veil is thinning fast, people, man. It's thinning fast. Protect your oil, man. Protect what's in your vessel. Protect your eyes. Pay attention to what you listen to, right? The veil's thin. These demons, Satan, they know they're running out of time. They don't have much time. All the atheists, everybody that mocks Jesus is going to find out who really Jesus is. Because the Bible says God cannot be mocked. You will reap what you sow. So if you see someone, especially the times we're living in now, that are mocking Jesus, don't laugh with them. Point them to Jesus. Be like, hey, I wouldn't mock him. You don't know who that is. You don't understand that Jesus is King of Kings. It's our job to plant as many seeds as we can. Point them to Jesus. The blood will be on your hands if you do not. So start repenting. Start fasting over your strongholds. If you feel lust in your life, you delete Tinder, delete Facebook dating, delete it all. It's not worth your soul. Don't get distracted by what God is trying to show you. Don't get distracted by the world. Keep your eyes on Jesus. God bless. I got to get into work, man.
So I've been on the side of TikTok where they were saying how the veil is thin, and I believe it. I truly believe it. I've been able to, see certain things since I was a child. And this past weekend, me and my boyfriend, we were in Douglasville. We had a room in Douglasville, right? And we just now getting back. I think we had got some food. And we backed in and we're facing the building. The whole entire time me and him was out there, I probably say we were probably out there probably like 10, 20 minutes. We were just talking and stuff. And I just see people walking past. Now, some of these people, I wouldn't say they were like solid, but you could see through them. But you know how you kind of see some or it catch your attention and your eyes automatically go to it? That's what kept happening. And the one I kept seeing the most, I guess he was trying to reveal himself to me. He had on this white button down like back in the day. And then on the collar, you know how the collars the tip of this used to be extra long? It was blue. So it was a whole white shirt, and then this part was just blue. He just kept walking past. I'm like, what the? And I'm telling him, I'm like, I just saw somebody walk past. And I just kept saying, like, and it was so busy. And I'm like, maybe we need to look at the area we're in or whatever. But it was like the activity, I just kept seeing people walk past. But he showed up, I would say it's a male because it gave male. He just kept showing up. And I didn't see the bottom half. I just seen the top on up. And it was like, but I know for a fact I saw that shirt. The Steve was like, what? And I'm telling him, like, yeah, I just keep seeing people. It got to the point where I was like, let's just go inside because I'm just seeing them walk past. And I'm like, what the? And I'm used to seeing stuff like that. But the way they was popping up, I'm not used to seeing that many at one time. And they just kept popping up like that. But I believe it, though. And to be honest, it is standing because something finna happen. Especially with what's going on in the world today. With all this craziness, this chaoticness, and yeah, something going on. Something finna happen. And I'm not speaking about with the government. I'm talking about spiritually. It's got to be a reason why all this stuff is going on. It just keep happening. Bad stuff. Back to back, back to back. And you know what else is crazy? I always said that in 2020, something happened. Something is finna happen. I'm trying to tell y'all. We have been sitting back and just really just chilling. Now, it's been all type of tactics and stuff like that coming at us, but it's like, we've been chilling. And I say that to say this. The veil is thin, and something finna happen. I just figured I'd share that with y'all. That's it.
We're not crazy. We are awake in a world where everyone else is asleep. I am finally making this video because I cannot pretend anymore. Some of you woke up because of what is in our food. Some of you started asking questions 5 years ago. Some of you, like me, realized there is no way we're gonna do this the way they want us to. I'm talking to crunchy moms. I'm talking to truth seekers. This is about remembering the kind of truth you can feel in your chest even when no one around us gets it. The kind of softness that is not weak. It's ancient. The kind of love that says, I'm going to raise my child awake in a world that is asleep. If this resonates with you, you found your people.
It's ramping up. Just everything seems to be dialing up, dialing up, dialing up. Like the insights, the awarenesses, the people waking up, the tipping point, you know. Some have said we've already crossed into the 5D. And I think what's happening is that we just keep dialing it up a notch and dialing it up a notch and dialing it up a notch and thinning the veils more and more and more. So if you're not noticing it or if you're not feeling it, then think about what you're holding on to that doesn't serve you anymore. Think about the things that you know you need to let go of, the things, the people you need to release. Situations that you're in that are just really low vibration, dense energy. Find a way to either raise the energy of that relationship and that situation, or find a way to move beyond it. Because everything that we're holding on to that holds us down, like brings us down, brings us into low vibration, into unhappiness, disharmony, discontent, the more suffering we stay stuck in, the more we stay stuck in 3D. Just keep looking for the places where you're holding on to things that cause you unhappiness or suffering and move on. Get it out of your life. It's worth it.
Have you been feeling spacey and extra forgetful lately? Join the crowd. Has life been bringing you people and experiences that really push what you thought you'd already moved through? Well, hang in there, my friends. I think this is completely normal. At least that's what I keep telling myself. These times, there's a lot of planetary alignments that are really pulling on the magnetic poles and shifting the magnetism on the planet. And there's a lot of energies really shifting around too. The veil is thinning. The veil between this side and the other, and all of those things that we thought weren't real or were told were just our imagination are becoming a little more solid. And the things that we thought were solid and reliable, like our systems, are shaking apart.
I remember this exact moment when I came to the realization that everything we know, everything we thought we knew is a lie. But just imagine, I was only 9 years old when I came to that realization. So being one of the only people in my inner circle, in my family, that knew everything we knew was a lie. They wasn't trying to hear me. They wasn't listening to me. I was like crazy. So what we're witnessing right now, especially amongst the collective, is phase 1. Phase 1 is like the emotional state where you just like can't believe this. You can't believe you going through this. Phase 2, you kind of shake it off and you kind of just embrace everything. But phase 3 is when you start not giving a f. I'm in phase 3 for sure because I don't give a f. Once you open your eyes, you cannot go back to being asleep. And I'm going to be honest, sometimes you're going to wish you would have never opened your eyes because the truth is always stranger than the lie. What I do want to say is I told my supporters last year it was going to be the year that everything is going to be revealed. And I said that it was going to be a roller coaster of a ride. And I'm not just talking about the fallen stars or the stars in Hollywood. I'm talking about everything that we were ever taught and told is going to be flipped upside down. See, but their biggest fear is coming true right now.
Have you all seen the video of the lady that was sitting in her car, watched a woman get out of the car next to her, say hi, watch the woman go inside, and then the woman looks over into her rearview mirror, and this is playing out again in her mirror? When I tell you something is going on, I just pulled into the Starbucks parking lot. I had to stop short because a black Camaro with a gentleman was coming pretty quickly through the parking lot, and I had to stop to let him go by. He's in front of me. He makes a right to pull out of the parking lot and to turn onto the highway. I see him with my eyes. As I come around the corner of the Starbucks to get into the drive-through line, that car with that man, the black Camaro, is backing into a parking lot. Same man, same car that I just watched 2 seconds previously pull onto the highway. What is going on?
It happened today. So I bought a house in the middle of nowhere. There's nothing around me. This is relevant. So I leave today to run to the grocery store real fast to get something for dinner. And I pull out of my driveway. I go to the end of the road. And when I get up to the end of the road, the car that turns the corner to come down my road passing me is my old self in my old car. It's me. What is that? So when this happens, I have this flash of a memory of me getting lost out here when I was younger. I didn't know where I was. And at the time, cell phones didn't have GPS on them. I never had GPS in a car. And I was lost out here. And I drove down this road. Like, what? And this is the middle of the day. I'm not tired. This wasn't a hallucination or like some strong memory that happened. And I was just like, it became real. No, this happened. It's just so insane. I don't know what that was about. It freaked me out. I saw myself. It was me in my old car. And it was me in my old car before I hit a deer in it eventually, because then I got a car after that. So like, what was that? So does that mean it makes it true that all of our worlds are happening at the same time? Like, what does that mean? I'm so confused. I'm packing eggs. I have people coming to get eggs from me, and I'm just contemplating on what happened. It's absolutely insane. Like, I've been off for a few days. I've gotten good sleep. It has nothing to do with anything like that. This happened, and it's absolutely crazy. So I don't know if you guys had similar things happen to you, but this is absolutely crazy.
I'm in Walmart right now, and I've seen some videos on this before, and I was wondering why, for the life of me, that I'm in here and I feel irritated. Like, all of a sudden, I'm just irritated, tired. I feel heavy. Like, the kids are in here with me, and we all feel it. So I'm wrapping things up and getting out, but I'm just wondering if anybody feels the energy when they come in here. I don't normally shop in here, but today I'm in here to get some things, and it's so heavy in here. It's just crazy. So we're about to put on some worship music on my phone, wrap up what we're doing, and get out of the store. So I'm just wondering if anybody's ever experienced this.
So we're back in the car. Interesting thing, when I was leaving the store, I had my music playing on my phone, and the guy that was checking me out, because they check receipts, was like, "Is that worship music you're playing?" He had a heavy accent. He might have been Hispanic. He had his mask on, and I said, "Yeah," and he's like, "Yeah," like he just is nodding his head. And I said, I have to play it. I said, "Do you feel the heaviness that I feel?" Not expecting him to say anything or even know what I was talking about. And he said, "Yeah." And I was like, "It's heavy in here, right?" He's like, "It's heavy in here." And I was like, "I have to play the music." And he's like, God bless you. He's like, and then, he was kind of looking at the kids, not in a weird way, but he was looking at the kids. And then I said, yeah, even the kids are feeling it. And he's like, God bless your children. He's like, continue praising. I was hearing this part. He said, continue praising and raise those generations. I think that's what he said. He said, raise those generations. God bless you. And he's like, yeah, he's like, it's the spirit, the atmosphere in here. He just kept saying the atmosphere. And he's like, yeah. And he was nodding his head. So I'm not crazy. I already knew I wasn't. When you have the gift of discernment, or when you are able to feel in the spiritual, these are the experiences that you will go through. And it's not that I'm possessed, or maybe I'm oppressed, but when you have people walking around, and I feel Walmart is evil. I'm sorry. I think it's evil because you have all these different emotions. I was feeling depression, anger, frustration, irritation, anxiety. I couldn't even explain. It was just this heavy feeling and everything. Like my kid brushed up against me and I'm like, I felt like saying, don't touch me, get off of me. It was just that irritation. And as I'm out the store right now, I'm in the car. I feel none of that. My head started hurting and I said, we got to go. We got to go. So some of you may think I'm nuts, but most of you will know exactly what I'm talking about. And I'm going to tell you that's the last time I'm going in Walmart, or I need to pray up before I go in Walmart because I did not expect that. Now, when we came out, we stood at the car before we even entered into this truck. We stood and we prayed, and I didn't care who was seeing us or who was watching. I laid my hands on my kids and I covered them. We prayed. My daughter prayed. We prayed over each other. I have my anointing oil. And whatever it was is gone. Whatever, I was feeling is gone. So be careful out there.
I really haven't ever seen my neighbors bringing in groceries, and we live in very, very close quarters. And I mean close to where that back wall, I can hear everything they're saying. Those are the neighbors we have problems with. There's a neighbor below us. Now, I don't know what's going on with him or where he goes, but he'll be gone for weeks and weeks, and I'll hear the smoke alarm going off randomly, like it's going off, like not beeping, like it's going off. I never see his car pull in, ever, and I'm always looking. And all of a sudden, his car will be outside, and I will hear stomping, boom, 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 downstairs, and that's how I know he's here. And I'll hear them cooking. I can hear the cooking and smell the cooking. And the next day, they're gone. Like they were never there. Almost as if the neighbor downstairs goes into some kind of alternate time universe where he moves out and then moves back in. Now, I've been in this apartment for almost 3 years, which, sad to say, I'm trying to get out of here. But I've been in this apartment for almost 3 years, so I see a lot of comings and goings. And it's like this guy moves in and then moves out for a period of time. And I'm talking like 4 weeks to 2 or 3 months at a time. He will be gone. And then it's like all his stuff, the apartment is empty, the lights are off, the smoke alarm's going off. There's just random, you can just tell it's empty down there. And then sometimes when he's not here and no one's down there, and I know there's no one down there because I can hear it. Remember, I can hear every little footstep going on down there because that's how close quarters we all live, all 4 units. I'll hear footsteps down there, but his car isn't here. So is it like, is he in 2 different timelines? Like, what is going on? And then sometimes when I do see him, like I said, I never see his car pull up. When I do see him, he looks different. Like not the guy that I saw originally living down there, but it's the same car. And then other times when he comes back, he looks like the same guy that I saw originally move in here. And no, there's not 2 people. It's just one guy. And I believe he has 2 kids, but I never see how these kids get here. They just appear. God, it's so weird to say. It's really weird to say, okay? I'm telling you, there are weird things going on. You just have to keep your eyes out and look.
When the veil turned thin. It started like any other day. A child at home, toys on the floor, afternoon light through the window. The television hummed quietly in the background. Then every channel changed at once. emergency broadcast. Not for weather, not for war. For sightings. Semi-visible figures. Smoke-like forms moving when nothing should move. At first, it sounded like panic, until the footage began. Reports flooded in from across the country. Grainy phone videos, security camera clips, live streams cutting out mid-sentence. In each one, distortion, like heat waves bending in the air. And inside the distortion, movement, not solid, not fully smoke, something between. The colors came next. Red smoke that lingered around arguments and riots. Green smoke that seemed to lift people off their feet. Blue smoke twisting metal and glass without touch. And purple, the rarest, the worst. Footage showed purple smoke moving with intention, blending abilities, overwhelming everything near it. But then there was black, almost invisible, almost mist, black smoke that shielded, that absorbed, that stood between. But there weren't many. Within days, it wasn't local. It wasn't national. It was everywhere. Every continent, every time zone. The sky looked the same. But the air felt different, like something thin had been peeled back. Social feeds became archives of encounters. The world wasn't arguing anymore. It was watching. The numbers became undeniable. 95% of reported encounters were hostile. Manipulation, violence, psychological disturbance. Only 5% described protection. Black smoke stepping in, blocking, dissolving color. The imbalance unsettled everyone. If something had crossed over, why was most of it dark? Scientists called it atmospheric anomaly. Physicists suggested dimensional overlap. Spiritual leaders spoke of a thinning veil. Psychologists pointed to collective consciousness stress. Maybe it wasn't one cause. Maybe it was all of them. A boundary worn down by noise, by conflict, by frequency. The veil hadn't torn. It had thinned. Children adjusted faster. They weren't shocked. They described the colors calmly. They pointed to corners adults avoided. Some even spoke to the black smoke forms as if familiar. Adults struggled, because adults had forgotten how to see. Panic faded, not because it was safe, because it was constant. People began moving differently, avoiding areas where colors gathered, gathering where black smoke lingered. Technology tried to measure what couldn't be contained, but perception was the real instrument. The world didn't end, it shifted. Cities grew quieter at night. Arguments carried weight. Emotions attracted color. It became clear. The entities were not random. They responded to fear, to anger, to instability. In the black smoke, it responded to something else. Resolve. Back in the living room, the boy no longer needed the television. He could see them without it. The air shimmered faintly near the window. A shadow of black smoke stood nearby, not threatening, watching, protecting. Outside, colors moved through the streets. The world had not collapsed. It had revealed itself. The veil didn't disappear. It simply became thin enough for us to notice what had always been there.
Anybody else notice how weird today was? It wasn't weird. It was just very noticeable that you were being observed. It's like you can really tell. They couldn't hide from observing you even if they wanted to. That's how noticeable it was today. I can't help but to believe how desperate they are for energy, that anything that you do is going to be magnified. They're trying to figure out what causes you to tick,
or what causes you to trigger the most so that they can get the most out of what they do when it comes to sifting energy. I noticed this a lot today. It was so transparent. For instance, they would be walking by, and if you don't look at them, they'll stand there until you look up. I never looked up because they're not important. And after a minute or two, they move it along. Then they send somebody else to walk by, like literally walk back and forth. It's the weirdest thing ever. Like, what are y'all getting out of this stuff? But they're showing us how programmed they really are. There's no other way that thousands, millions of people can be convinced that you are the bad person. No way in the world that true family members would go against you. No way in the world that complete strangers would just completely hate you out of nowhere.
Pay extra attention to your dreams, especially when they're very vivid and they have ancestors in them. If you're in Appalachian Mountains and you hear something, no, you didn't, but yes, you did. Don't acknowledge it. If you're walking down the street minding your business or in a public place, no, you're not tripping. Yes, that person's dead. If you're a scaredy cat, stay away from railroad tracks and four-way intersections after 3 a.m. No, you are not delusional. Yes, that thing is walking on all fours and it looks like a human, but a distorted one. You're not just dreaming, honey. You're an astral realm. Be careful while you're out there. I say all of this to say that this year's veil is non-existent. You guys used to be able to turn it off and on and control it. That's not happening no more.
Please don't watch this video if you're not into the paranormal. I've gave you a warning. If you've ever had a dream and your dream came true within a month, the veil has dropped. If you see birds in threes, the veil has dropped. If you feel like you're the only one here and everything else is a figment of your imagination, the veil has dropped. If you feel like you're losing your appetite a lot consistently, the veil has dropped. If you've ever had a dream about your tooth falling, the veil has dropped. Okay, this one's going to be a little more intense, but if you've seen something with someone else being there, but they never saw it, the veil has dropped. If you're seeing repeating numbers like a lot, the veil has dropped. And when I say the veil has dropped, I mean that you're now in between the third and fifth dimension, and you're starting to realize that your soul is not really in the body, but your body is in the soul. So you're getting messages from the higher self.
There's something that I haven't really spoken about publicly yet, and what my day-to-day life actually looks like now. Because the way I experience the world now isn't the same way it used to be, and it's not the same as most people around me. I have a very deep connection now to the spirit world, and the veil between our reality and the other side, that's been split for years. It's thin, there's bleed through, and the more people that I do reach, the stronger that bleed is becoming. And lately, the activity around me is becoming intense. I catch things at random moments, what most people would call paranormal activity. I see orbs, light flashes, things shift, and I hear things that others don't. I can also feel energy enter my space instantly. I can connect to spirits, I can feel their pain and their emotions. My whole body reacts before my mind even catches up. My vision also goes blurry, especially in the corner of my eyes, almost like I'm looking through water. I'll see something shift, I'll see something move that makes you take a second look, but by the time you do turn your head, it's already gone. Then there's a high pitch ringing in my ear. It's like a radio frequency that doesn't turn off. And the more people I am reaching online, the louder it's becoming. And this has just become a normal now and how I experience the world. I've become someone who lives between both worlds, and someone whose nervous system, spirit, and perception were forced open by trauma, near death, and survival to a point I don't just sense the other side. I now walk the line between both. And threshold walkers don't get to fully return to normal society. We don't get to close the door again, because when the veil does split, you learn to live with the bleed.
Timelines are moving fast. Be prepared to see some weird Step back and observe because you're watching a play. Artificial intelligence has been given to us to blur the lines so we don't know what's real and what's fake. If you see a video with a horse with wings and a horn, a unicorn for example, flying through the centre of London, you will automatically say that that's AI. They know the veil is lifting and we're about to be shown some weird and AI is the perfect cover. Naturally, things that are real We're being conditioned to put it down to AI. Why else would they give AI to us? Now is the time to use discernment when deciphering whether something's real or whether something is fake.
So this thing just showed up on Fox News after a missile strike. Let me know what you think it is, because some people are saying it's an angel, some people are saying it's the Grim Reaper. I don't see an angel there. I'm sorry, that's not an angel.
You feel it too, don't you? You do or you don't. The veil is getting thinner, man. Truth that used to hide in shadows are starting to show themselves. Energy is shifting. Time is moving strange. It's like two worlds overlapping. What's spiritual and what's real are starting to merge. The crossover already began. Most just ain't aware yet. Are you?
As long as we stay awake, keep sharing, I believe we can change things. And until next time, stay safe, stay aware, and question everything.